All righty. Good morning, guys and ladies. Good to see you all here. I'm going to assume you can hear me and just give me a thumbs up as I get started. But welcome to the Hurley Investments Trade Findings and Adjustments of September 12th, 2024. Already halfway through September. I'm just barely getting used to the idea that we're finally done with August. August was a crappy and a good month. Big drop and a big comeback and kind of a peter out towards the end. And then a smaller drop and on its way coming back at the beginning of first 2 weeks of this September month. But right now, it just kind of seems like, and I'm going to make a different note here. Oh my goodness. All right. Market doesn't know yet which direction it wants to go. Sort of a holding pattern while we wait for the FOMC meeting to confirm whether or not we will get the expected rate cut and how big the cut will be. So that was kind of the fall from the end of July, beginning of August, which just was making people worried that we might not get that cut, and good news was bad news, and then suddenly bad news turned to bad news. You've heard me talk about what I mean there. Hopefully you guys understand, follow what I'm saying. Anyone new might be a little confused, but basically, we want to see, or the Fed wants to see, the economy slow down a little bit and inflation come down so that they can cut rates. But now people are starting to get worried that the economy is slowing down too fast and that we're not going to get our soft landing, quote unquote, that the Fed keeps talking about and hoping for. Okay. So that's our current circumstance. We've got that meeting, what is it, next week? What is it, Tuesday? I think. Let me just double check since I've got this here. So here's the rate it says, and now it's Tuesday. Excuse me, Wednesday. So got that coming up, and that is really what everybody is waiting for and looking for. So what have we been up to? As we've watched tech get tech fall down once again. Both NVIDIA and Micron have hit double bottoms. We made the decision to roll our protection down to capture some profit on our puts. Micron, we booked profit on 102 strike puts and rolled them to 90 strike puts. Why? Well, that's my question for you guys. Why would we want to roll down puts to get profit as opposed to just book the profit and then just be in shares with no protection? Why might we want to still have a bit of protection at this period of time? And a hint is that I've already answered this question. I really just want to see if you guys caught it. I really want to see what you guys also think. So why would we want to roll down as opposed to just book profits on puts? He says you think things will fall and want protection. Well, if I was convinced that things weren't done falling, Lee, I think we would have just kept the higher strike protection on because it's in the money, going to be making us more money on the way down. But you're not thinking in the wrong way. You're still you're in the right, headed in the right direction with your thoughts there. Mary says, want to book profits, but still some risk to take care of. I like that thought, Mary. Anybody else? Kind of looking for a little bit more specific. So let me just highlight this right here. Copy. Paste. Look at the market again. I mean, it is a positive sign that we're back above the 50-day, broke it and then rallied back up. But we really still haven't picked a direction very convincingly. I mean, if it can bounce back up after breaking it so far, certainly it can reverse and fall back down. And I also mentioned we're kind of in a holding pattern. People are still waiting for an upcoming event, and so it's just there's a little volatility in not being sure what to do in the meantime, sort of thing. Let me update so I have basically hit 5,400 on the dot twice. Micron, you can kind of see where we were going with things. 102 broke, we got those on obviously once we broke that 200-day coming back down, couldn't hold it. 102 puts came back on, booked those yesterday as we hit a double bottom and had a nice convincing bounce up. So we rolled those down to 90, booked that profit. Boy, it was not fun to see Micron down like it was down like 5% earlier this morning. It's down 4% now. It's kind of bounced its way back up and it looks like it's holding up. But boy, am I glad we had just rolled 90 down to 90 puts. And so that is why we're doing that. Still some uncertainty, and let me give Lee some credit here again. He says there is still uncertainty about the rate cut and you need protection in case it doesn't happen. That's a good way to say it. I 100% believe we're going to get some rate cut, whether it's a 25 basis point or 50 basis point. At this point, based on what the Fed has been talking about and the way some other, inflation has gone, other indicators. But for Micron in particular, we're just hitting a double bottom, saw the opportunity there, and yes, weren't confident enough that at this point when the market can't pick a direction to just be only shares there. that was a good decision, at least for today. Maybe it will continue to rally and we'll just take those 90s off as well. But what happened with Micron? It gets 2 downgrades. Let's see. Talked about their capital spending increasing to make these new, faster, more efficient chips. Carl Ackerman from Exane BNP Paribas, whoever the hell they are, issued a rare double downgrade, taking his rating to underperform. He says, while investors are aware of downside risk to near-term results, we believe Micron will underperform its artificial intelligence peers through 2025 due to an oversupply of high bandwidth memory, leading to a faster than expected correction in conventional DRAM selling prices. So right now we're still in a shortage. And he thinks we are going to quickly hit in the next few quarters an oversupply in bandwidth memory and chips, DRAM. I can't make that make sense. Usually things don't happen that quickly. Takes a longer time to build supply, especially for something like their new processors that are more efficient, lighter, not lighter, but more efficient and faster, require less energy. I just don't see what he's talking about. So Kevin can't make those numbers work. That just doesn't make sense for something that is in a high demand, restricted supply product to suddenly so quickly go to oversupply. We could be wrong, he could be wrong, but if you believe every prediction that a analyst makes, you will do nothing but lose money. And right now, after that initial reaction this morning, it looks like the market is kind of seeing that as well. They dropped more since their last earnings because even though they kicked butt on their numbers, they said they're gonna have to spend more for these new chips, et cetera, and market didn't like that. But for heaven's sake, once again, the market selling off a stock that's making a company that's making good money because they're wanting to invest in their future and invest in higher performing, more efficient products, which will lead to better returns down the road. Market is interested in what's here and now, and the future is dictated here and now, and it's extremely impatient, and this gives us a great opportunity as well. We've added shares to Micron, added shares to Nvidia. It's not come down nearly as much as Micron, but we've done all those things that we talk about: protection, dollar cost averaging with the profits from protection, and we're just still in that process. And all the idiots that decided to take their profits on Nvidia, and well, Nvidia too, but Micron, Nvidia, while we've been able to dollar cost average with money we didn't have before. to lower our cost basis, be far more profitable by the time it gets up to where it was. I think we're making smarter, wiser decisions. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I feel. And that is why we do what we do. Is there any questions or thoughts? I didn't give you a trade, but I kind of did give you a trade. And I really don't think I need to elaborate any further. Let's just look at NVIDIA real quick too. Back above their 50-day, they're looking great. But between the two, Micron looks like a bigger opportunity. But might require a little more patience and a little more time. Any last questions? That wraps it up for me, really. That's what I wanted to go over. Unless you guys have any last questions, and otherwise that's it. So my last holding a double bottom support level. There is some ridiculous opportunity in Micron right now. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any questions, which tells me you guys got it all figured out. You know what you need to do. You like what we talk about. You agree with everything. So with that said, it's good to be with you guys. Thanks for joining me this morning. And we will talk to you next time. Take care.